Kevin Durant can't miss. Team USA cruises past Team Serbia. Miroslav Chuk is here to break it all down with us. This is a Winners Losers Lounge. Take your pick. Depending who you are, you might have a very different vibe right now. Welcome into the Toyota Winners/Losers Lounge. Depending on your nationality, play the air horn, or the sad music if you're Miroslav. Welcome into the Toyota Lounge here on the corner of Colfax and York at the DNVR bar. I am Brendan Vogt. That is Eric Weedham, also known as D-Line Co.
That's right, guys. It's a great day to be a person that can make a decision on their allegiance based on the way a basketball game went. I can't believe how full of pride I am as a USA member. Holy smokes. Me and Kevin Durant, two peas in a pod. I can't get enough.
Eric just brimming with national pride right now. He's been Team USA from the jump. Pay no mind to the Serbia jersey he's wearing. Speaking of Serbia, calling in from Serbia and ready to give us his perspective on what went wrong there, how Jokic looked, and more. It's the homie Miroslav.
Nothing went wrong. We have Team US right where we want them to, and I'll explain that in the following minutes.
Okay, perfect. So we're gonna do our quick recap, but with a bit of a remix. Miroslav will do a quick recap from the Serbian perspective.
Yeah.
Eric will do what I surmise will be a quicker recap from the Team USA perspective. We'll do big takeaways. We'll talk more about how Jokic looked. And maybe a little bit of Westbrook conversation, because that news is finally official here. Miroslav, for now, why don't you take it away? It is time for the quick recap, Serbia edition, via Miroslav.
A fast break recap. Yeah, we'll workshop it. Okay, so the game starts. Joel Embiid wins the tip in against
good note.
Petrusev, and first possession. Team USA, Alex Avramovic, immediate steal and a dunk on the other side. He actually had 6 quick points in the first 2 minutes because Alexa doesn't fear anything or anyone, and I wouldn't advise you to live your life like that. He is kind of insane. Embiid was benched after 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That was fun.
Don't besmirch my guy, dude.
So at the beginning of the game, the first quarter, Nikola was really active on defense, but he was pretty sloppy with the ball. So at the 2 minutes and 33 second mark of the first quarter, he got out of the game at +6, and he spent like 4 minutes out of the game, and Serbia lost those 4 minutes by 13 points. So at the beginning of second quarter, it was already -7 for Serbia. After that, Kevin Durant, or during that as well, had 21 points in the first half on 131 true shooting percentage.
Is that a real number?
31. That's a real number.
That's what happens when you don't miss any shots.
Goodness gracious.
Because, he was 7 of 7 from the field and 4 from 4 from the 3-point line. So after that, third quarter, Embiid hits his second jump shot with an and one and missed his third consecutive free throw, which was pretty surprising considering free throw shooting is his biggest strength of them all. And at the 6-minute mark, he got benched again. 2 minutes and 15 seconds mark of the third quarter, Jokic went out of the game at -15. Serbia's game already started slipping. Shots were missed, and Team US just didn't miss anything. At that point, Team Serbia was running plays for Jovic without Nikola on the court. and Jovic is trying to get into the game shape. So I would say that was on purpose by Svetislav Pešić. Jovic wouldn't have been playing in this game if this was a medal game, because he's just not in game shape at all at this point. He's just trying to play him in that. Fourth quarter, Pešić actually tried subbing out Nikola 3 minutes before the end of the game to try. I think this is me being a couch psychologist, trying to force his team to figure out how to play without Nikola, and that didn't work.
Nice.
So
he did that
had
in
to
the
put him
quarterfinal
back
as
in.
well against Italy. It's an interesting tactic.
Yeah. So no rhythm without Joker, and at the end, Team US probably made like 25 threes and won comfortably by 27 points or whatever it was.
There's your fast, quickest, briefest recap this side of the Mississippi.
All right, ready? LeBron James, Joel Embiid, Kevin Booker, Kevin
Booker.
Durant. They come into the games, they're raining holy hellfire from above, full air raid. Kevin Durant cannot miss any shots. Neither does LeBron James. American dominance on display. Well, greatest country in the world. Hard to deny it now, Miroslav. Sorry to you. Jason Tatum logs no minutes because he doesn't even have to. It's an embarrassment of riches, and the U.S. goes on to make me personally proud. This is what I was looking for, was a dominant performance from my favorite players, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Anthony Davis. Oh, God. Bam Adebayo. It was really great to watch, dude. I loved it every second.
World's proudest American over there, D-line,
so
with
proud.
your
These colors don't
American quick recap. All right, guys, let's get somewhat serious here. It was a bit of a game for about a half. Got away from Team Serbia, of course. What do we have in terms of big takeaways? You can go either side of the fence, and Miroslav will start with you. Whether you want to go Team Serbia, Team USA, the choice is yours.
Yeah, well, as I said, Team Serbia has Team USA right where they want them. I had made only one big prediction for this Olympic tournament, and that's my prediction is that there is no way Team USA can win against Serbia 3 times in a row this summer. So I might be right. There are 2 possibilities there, and you can check my take on yesterday's Serbian corner, where I spoke about it a bit in depth, but it's possible they just don't meet again because one of the teams gets eliminated earlier.
You think the US is getting
Serbia
eliminated?
wins. So we will see. We will see. We've seen 2 games where Serbia shot 0% on wide open threes, and Team US making 80% of their threes. So yeah, I am optimistic that we will not see the same scenario for the 3rd straight time, even though it's possible.
All right, man. That's one heck of an angle on what we just saw, but you have to do your best, and I appreciate it,
Bro.
Eric, what were your big takeaways besides just screaming first and last names? What stood out to you?
Man, listen, all right. The U.S. has given me so much in my life. It's given me, some would say, my entire life. I've lived here my whole life. I was born, raised. There's a lot to be proud of. The U.S. has ruined this competition. This isn't fun. Dude, you beat Serbia by 20 points in the first round. Serbia's a good basketball nation. I'm not, like, what are we even looking forward to? That was insane. LeBron James and Kevin Durant, neither one missed a shot the entire first half. And it wasn't because they weren't shooting. Kevin Durant came off the bench and hit 5 3-pointers in a row. Like, just straight cash, didn't even hit the rim. It was a valiant effort from our beloved Serbian brates. Came out early. They had the lead, very spunky, very spirited. Nikola Jokic performed his duty as the floor general quite admirably. Nobody could knock down any threes for Team Serbia. Vasa Micic was okay. A lot of big no-shows from guys that we even drafted as our guys. Moltenov did nothing. I don't think he recorded a single stat. In the end, it was exactly what you expected. Jokic looked great. Team Serbia looked fine, and the U.S. looked dominant. I'm so bummed out for the rest of this competition. It seems like the U.S. is just going to roll through roughshod.
I thought there were a lot of moments throughout this game where, despite what Kevin Durant was doing, LeBron was doing, you'd look up and you'd go, I don't get the math on this, but Serbia's down single digits. They're still in this game.
Yeah, they're playing well.
I think it reminded me a bit of the warm-up game, the showcase game, in that they have no chance if they shoot 24% from three.
Right.
I mean, there are there's a huge talent discrepancy here. You could pick Team USA for a lot of reasons, but as these games go on, whatever Serbia's doing to hang around, it's not enough if they're not hitting threes. And they were 9 of 37 from three-point range today. On the flip side,
9 of 37, dude.
On the flip side, Team USA hit 56% of their threes. Now, look, more talent. They're going to generate good looks every time they want to, unless Embiid's doing something stupid. Like, that's Team USA. It's not shot luck. But Serbia is going to need one if they are to meet again and they have a chance. And that's my big takeaway. And it seems a little simple and reductive, but in the modern game, if you're going to make an upset, you have to hit your threes. They didn't today.
This game was a game of two halves, really. In the first half, Team US shut the lights out.
Yep.
And they were up by, 9 points in the half.
In the second half,
Yeah.
they shat the lights out.
No, this is the thing. They shot like 9 of 13 in the first half from the three-point line. Now, this is not by accident. Serbia's defense on three-pointers is really bad. It has been really bad throughout the
they went under every
preparation.
screen.
Yeah.
They got 23s from Japan in Belgrade in a game I was watching live. So Japan made 23s on them. So it is a problem of Team Serbia's defense that they need to work on. On the other side, I don't expect Kevin Durant. I mean, we've seen Kevin Durant in 2014 in the final game when Serbia played Team US to the last basket in the group play, and then America blew them open in the final game because Kevin Durant was the same Kevin Durant we've seen today. Kevin Durant is the absolutely impossible guy who is absolutely impossible to stop in FIBA play because the three-pointer of FIBA play is his normal jump shot for 2
Seriously.
points. He takes
Seriously,
non-stop in the NBA. So it's really, really hard to defend him. And actually, you cannot. So you need to find a way to lower the number of turnovers and just stop the transition play from Team USA because LeBron James is a tank. He did have one offensive foul in transition, but other than that, he's absolutely unstoppable. There is no way you can get with less than 2 points on him on transition. So the second half was different. Team Serbia kind of let go in the second half. Team USA was not shooting that well. They were only 56% for three-pointer because they missed a lot of shots in the second half. They were like 80% in the first half. So that's the story of two halves in this game.
I agree. And I also thought that the Embiid thing kind of reared its head a little bit. Not to spend too much time on it because it was a blowout ultimately. But when Team USA moved the ball, it felt impossible to stop. And there is a little bit of, no shit Sherlock here, but that's kind of part of sometimes what manifests on the international level, where USA typically dominates, but do they kind of devolve sometimes into star play, or are they keeping the ball moving? Because when they keep the ball moving and you find Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry open for three, you're knocking them down. I did think there were some weird possessions where it's just so funny to me how even on that roster, Embiid's like, you know what I should do is
I know.
I'll post up or everyone just slow it down. Because I thought when they moved the ball, Serbia didn't have much of a chance. But all the same, Team USA cruises here behind some elite play from two of the greatest players ever in Team USA history. Kevin Durant, the leading scorer in Team USA history with 23 points in this game, and LeBron almost a triple-double, 21, 8, and 9. We'll talk more on the other side of this break here about Jokic, about our guys' D-line, about Serbia's chances against other teams who do not have Kevin Durant and LeBron James, and possibly even the Westbrook news. For now, I got to tell you, that we're excited to talk about our partnership with our friends at UC Health. They know that how important mental health is, and they encourage Coloradans to live their healthiest lives through statewide initiatives that include taking care of your mental health. They want you to live like there is a tomorrow. Sometimes it doesn't feel that way.
I know. Miroslav, how's your mental health right now?
Hey, come on now. Come on. Sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but
It's
tomorrow
great.
does come. Tomorrow does come. Former UC Health patient David Schlicht, a Colorado teenager who loves being active outdoors. He's a prime example of someone taking care of their mental health and living like there is a tomorrow. We're watching the Olympics now. David was an Olympic hopeful, and that path took a tragic turn when he lost his leg after a ski training accident. With the help of UC Health doctors, David decided to amputate his leg, start a recovery path, and he was almost immediately able to get back to what he loves doing most, being active outdoors. Sure, that was a physical battle. I know it was also probably essential to keep up his mental health as best he could throughout that process. UC Health wants you to understand that, and they want you to know if you want to learn more about David's story, see more inspiring patient stories from UC Health, you can head to uchealth.org/tomorrow to learn what it means to live like there is a tomorrow. And there was a hailstorm fairly recently, right?
Oh yeah, dude, and and we're not just talking about the U.S. raining ice balls down from heaven.
No, we're talking about the weather in
The
Colorado.
actual weather.
Where it's usually sunny, but every now and then the sky just rains hell down on you. It's something
listen,
that happens. That's why you want to be in close contact with our friends at Red Hawk Roofing. Yes. They are not hawks, they're real human beings.
They are.
So don't
They
get
might be hawk.
confused.
We don't know.
There might
We
be
don't see them most
could have
of the
some
time.
hawk blood in the wine.
Dude, so
We
much
don't
hot
know.
blood.
They at least present as humans who use quality materials. They claim to have decades of experience. Quick response time, Colorado's best estimators and contractors. They're huge DNVR supporters. You may have met them. You might see them hanging around at the bar. They're our good friends, and they want to take care of you, whether hail's falling or not. So here's the deal. Supporting your local teams can also mean supporting local businesses like Red Hawk Roofing. If you're looking for a new roof over your home or business, be sure to check out Red Hawk Roofing at redhawkroofing.com or call 720-771-8921. Tell them that DNVR sent you. And we're back into the winners/losers lounge/mixed emotions
know.
lounge.
This feels dirty lounge.
Miroslav, we just watched Jokic play some real basketball for the first time in about 3 months. For large stretches, it was a real treat, especially if you ignored the scoreboard. What were your big thoughts here? Give us a notebook dump on Jokic playing for Team Serbia, just how it looked for him as part of the team and individually, whatever you got.
Well, first of all, I want to share a bit about my impressions of him watching him play live in Belgrade a week ago.
Oh, nice.
He looks really, really joyous. He looks really pumped up to be playing. You can see he's really enjoying the camaraderie of his teammates. And August Stojakovic actually had a really good interview about it today in Serbian media, where he said that the camaraderie of this squad is something that should not be underappreciated, because that's the main thing about this team. These guys really like each other, and they're trying to win a medal, but the main thing, what he takes as a main takeaway, is the way these guys like playing with each other. Having said that, Nikola looks really big, really huge, really powerful,
Swole.
and his conditioning is on a really high level. I think some lineups around him should be a bit more optimized. I don't want to see him playing next to Milutinov again against a team like Team USA. I'm not saying that's impossible to play against some other teams like France or something, but against Team USA, that's not a good idea. You had two plowing centers in Nikola and Milutinov, two Nikolas, and then you had Bam and AD as their counterparts, who were so much quicker, so much faster. So that wasn't a great look. I think Nikola was really good on defense today, and as I said earlier, he was a bit sloppy with the ball at the beginning of this game, but
4 turnovers.
It makes sense because Team US was really keyed on his ball handling, trying to disrupt him as much as possible, because they knew Team Serbia is going to try to play through him a lot. He's had some really good assists. over there, some really nice finishes around the rim, but his shot is just not there still. Like he was
yeah.
1 of 6 from the 3-point line. One of the guys that just was part of the problem from the outside.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that, and that's sort of been. I mean, it looked a lot like the way we've watched and talked about Jokic for the last year and a half. I think teams know how to key in on him unless there's elite guard play alongside him. Now, there's a huge talent discrepancy in this matchup. It's a bit different, but you're watching him kind of, okay, it's Anthony Davis and another big.
Yep.
And unless, this team has a great idea of what to do when Jokic is keyed in on or the guards are able to execute. And eventually some of the guards made some plays, but there were just some moments where it felt like it was almost like watching maybe the Wolves just kind of pack the paint, and you're like, all right, he's got it. They're stripping at him. They're not making it easy for him. He still had his way, I thought, outside of the 3-point shot offensively. But it just reminded me a little bit of like, it's so hard for a center to do it all on their own, and they need some help sometimes. And they definitely need their 3-point shot to fall, and Jokic just hasn't for quite some time. And I don't know if you want to call that a concern, maybe just a reality at this point. But as far as ways that Jokic could get even better or back to the absolute peak that we've ever seen him, for me, it's about the jump shot, whether the matchup's good or not.
Well, I mean, again, he had his wrist braced, which I didn't love. Like his wrist was wrapped up. That's always like scary hours for Jokic outside shooting, is when he's got extra, you could tell that the training staff is giving extra attention to that wrist. I mean, listen, like Serbia came out and actually looked very good early. They came out with a plan. They were running plays. They were doing what you would expect of an international basketball squad going against the U.S. The U.S., still coming into this game, you don't quite know what the pecking order is. It is still a little bit murky. Is it Steph's team? Is it LeBron's team? Et cetera, et cetera. And that, I felt like, was on display early on. You were like, okay, this is the U.S. Squad of Monstars playing an actual team in Serbia. And then then it's just like, as the game goes on, that's sort of like, then Serbia starts to know less and less what they're doing. They start to get scrambled. They start to get rattled. They're obviously not hitting to anything from the outside. The confidence starts to get shaken. And then, U.S. has you where they want you. They're just, at that point, just bullying. I mean, LeBron James is sneering at the camera. I mean, like, they're in full, like, Kevin Durant's laughing. Like, as a Serbian national, it was very difficult to watch, to see it all unfold. But it's just sort of like, the best laid plans sort of, as the game wears on with this level of talent on the other side of the floor, starts to give way. I was, I think like everybody else, like starting early off, I was like, hell yeah, Jokic is fucking engaged.
I mean, he was great.
He was great, dude. I mean, he was almost the leading scorer in the game. He had 28, 9, or 8 and 5. Like, but like, we saw Serbia hit the bottom of the backboard twice. Real playoff P stuff going on. It's just, you just get overrun by this level of talent.
Did you see the shooting foul on Joel Embiid when he was trying to shoot behind the basket?
Yes.
Such a classy move from Joel.
Well, that's a good segue, because I was going to ask you, Miroslav, true or false, Jokic's eyes lit up a little bit when Embiid came back in that stint, and Jokic gave him a little work. We all saw it.
Embiid is just by far the worst player on the Team US. And I'm not talking about his individual skill. I'm just talking about the way he fits the other guys on the team. Like, I'm just stoked for every minute he is on the court. And
there's not many of them.
Yeah, that's true. He played like 8 minutes tonight. I don't know how many minutes he played, but it wasn't many. Yeah, I'm really, really happy to see him with Team US. Because that's a team that's built, not bought, I guess. But I'm segueing too much. I just think he had a horrible game, just like all the other games in the prep period.
We skip steps over here, Miroslav. We don't give an F.
It is pretty crazy to think, he's just taking turns cooking AD and Embiid. or they're sharing the floor with each other, or Bam, or like to really stop this guy, it just has to be so lopsided, or you have to have so much size,
I know.
or star guards need to struggle. But the brick walls that Jokic just kind of forces his way through, as far as just barriers, right, or just obstacles in his way, it's just unbelievable how many times he just kind of trudges along and gets through.
This, I feel like, is the most strong Jokic has ever looked. And then to just see him be the same level of nimble that he always is, being able to do those quick turns and just get around guys and like be kind of lumbering and slow and then go right into a lightning quick move that you're not expecting from him. It's the most beautiful part about Jokic's game. Also, Miroslav, can you plug your ears for this? He's so easily the coolest guy on Team Serbia. Jokic is so fucking cool. I love that guy. Seeing him in that, like, he's just the way he interacts, the way he moves, the way he just everything about. I love Nikola Jokic. This is like, if it wasn't already part of my soul, like it's just kicked out everything up. That's all there is now. It's just me and Jokic.
Yeah, final line for Jokic: 20 points. 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steals. Did have those 4 turnovers, but a really impressive performance, even if it wasn't a great result for Team Serbia. A stark contrast from what we saw with Jamal and Team Canada, just in terms of how ready he looked, how excited he looked. And so at least something encouraging there. I want to talk a little bit about some of the other guys on Team Serbia here for a second. Miroslav, Eric and I have declared our guys on Team Serbia.
We might do a redraft.
I'm going to give you 2 names. You tell us how you thought they played, and if you think we're misguided to have taken them in the first place.
Do we have the wrong guys, dude?
I thought Eric scored some points today with Dobric, and then I'm a big Avramovic fan.
Yeah, that was good.
What do you think of those selections, and what do you think of the way those guys performed today against Team USA?
Well, Dobric and Avramovic are Serbian defensive specialists, and I'm really glad that Coach Pešić decided to go with those 2 guys in the starting lineup next to Nikola and Bogdan, and Petrušev, who is also a pretty good defender for a big. I really like those guys. I really think Dobric is playing really good Jokic ball. He cuts really well, really hard, and his floater is actually pretty inevitable. Which just doesn't look nice, but it always goes in, which is a big deal. His 3-point shot is hit and miss, but all the other guys are the same in that way. So I think both of those guys had a pretty good first half, especially, and then when the game just broke open, like none of the guys looked great.
So I'm curious, Miroslav, give us who had good games? Give us the rank. Like, number 1, Jokic. Who are the guys that had good games from your perspective?
Well, if I would have to pick, like Bogdanovic had a very good game.
Okay, that's my guy.
Outside of shooting, like he missed his first 4 3-pointers, then he hit the last 2, but he started the game like 0-5, which was pretty back-breaking. If he was hitting some of his early shots, and Kevin Durant missed 1 or 2, like we would have a different ball game after the first half. But it is what it is. I think he was pretty good. I think Vasa Micic was fine.
It was none of our guy. None of us selected him.
He was fine. He is a Jamal of this team. He is a guy who can save your game with a brilliant move every time around, but he's also kind of slow and also like sometimes will dribble the ball too much. But outside of that, I thought Vasa looked pretty good. Dobric was pretty good, and then it's hard to find another guy. It's really hard.
I'm surprised you feel that way about Vasa. Honestly, not to be combative. He was 3 of 10. And maybe it's because I have higher expectations for him than some of the other guys, but I've never seen him play that well, man. Yeah.
Yeah, Vasa is not the perfect companion for Jokic ball. That's a fact. He is a guy that likes to be on the ball a lot, and that doesn't bode well with Jokic ball. There is no coincidence that Serbia won silver medal last year without Nikola, but also without Vasa, because they had a real actual point guard on their team, Stefan Jovic, who is now retired and not playing anymore. So Vasa will need to adjust his game a bit more to be more of a valuable guy to this team at this point.
All right.
But I thought he was better than what we saw from him in the preliminary games, before the Olympics.
Maybe just a little shot luck too could go a long way for him. We'll talk more about Serbia's chances, and eventually, guys, we'll talk Westbrook a little bit here too on the other side. For now, I got to remind you guys that if you are in the great state of Colorado, you've got a lot of options for fun and recreation and winning. Maybe my favorite option to combine all those things is Bet365, where it's never ordinary. They don't do ordinary. They think every sport should be epic, and right now it can be. New customers can choose between two offers when they open an account at Bet365. Use the code DNVR365 to sign up, deposit $10, and choose between either a bet and get offer or a first bet safety net offer. And yes, it is true. The rumors are true. You can bet on Olympic basketball. You could have bet on this game. I would listen.
What would you have bet if going in?
I mean, I would have bet Tatum unders. I wouldn't have bet Tatum under 1 minute played, but I would have been a winner if that.
This is actually the most wonderful scenario for Brendan Vogt, because
My favorite tweet
Jason
of the
Tatum
day.
is behind LeBron James and Kevin Durant, but Vogt gets to be like, he sucks.
Well, listen, no. I thought it was clear that Team USA was serious about winning this game, and that their rotations reflected that. My best tweet of the day was someone tweeted, Derek White, hey, Jason, can you hand me my water? All right.
Wow.
At least he didn't have a negative plus minus. Come
Well,
on.
Jalen
Yeah,
and Brown is
that's
at home
true.
just snapping a pencil.
That's true.
Not even available.
No, listen, it's a stacked Team USA team, and there's not room for everyone. There's room for all of you Coloradans at Bet365, where it's never ordinary. You have to be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. We're cruising into the week. Oh, we're cruising out of the weekend, folks.
Well, Adam would tell you that this is already the new
That's
week.
true.
The weekend ended yesterday.
No matter where you're cruising in Colorado or how you think the calendar works, get yourself a Toyota.
Let's go.
Toyota has a lot of great
Beep, beep.
options. They've got a lot of great trucks, because trucks have always been a part of Toyota's DNA for generations. They built durable legends destined for greatness and perfect for Colorado, where, as I've said before, you guys actually need trucks. You use trucks for the intended purposes of trucks. Well, I grew up, they are overcompensation machines. But listen, out here, you might need one, or you might need an SUV, or you might need a low or zero emission vehicle. You can get any of these. You can get all of the above with our friends at Toyota. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of the Denver Nuggets and the official vehicle of DNVR. And we're
go.
back. We're back in the Toyota Lounge of all places, hanging out with our good Serbian friend Miroslav.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Eric.
He's our real friend. We've met him in real life and everything. We've been over there. He's been over here. It's a beautiful friendship.
It's a real friendship at this point.
it's a real friendship.
It's a give and a take. Before, it used to just be take.
Right.
And then he came over.
Now we're going to lean on you a bit, Miroslav, because we need a Serbian perspective here. Where does it go from here now? Were you anticipating this loss? How, obviously, in a short group play, you want to win every game, but how devastating, if at all, is this to their chances of advancing? And is there anything that you liked that you saw, just if you can somehow extract it and isolate it from the matchup and the opponent as far as projecting it forward?
This was always the least important game for Serbia
love it,
on
dude.
this
Just go-
tournament.
Copia,
Because
dude.
you just don't count. You just don't count on points against Team US in the group play. Like, you have two teams you need to concentrate against, and there's this after the top 8 teams are determined at the end of the group play, there will be how do you call it? It will be a draft of teams for the quarterfinals, and if Team Serbia would be the number 1 second place team in the group, they would avoid Team US to the very end, to the final game. And this is why a bad loss like this today, or 26 points, is really hurting their chances of not meeting the Team US before the finals. Now, I know a lot of people are scared of South Sudan because they played a really good game against Team US
They did.
a week ago. And then Puerto Rico, who has always been a really good basketball nation.
Shout out
And
Davon Reed.
I'm going to tell you right away, I expect 2 20-point wins for Team Serbia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Tell us why.
Yeah, South Sudan has no chance against Team Serbia.
Okay.
South Sudan is a
Talk your
high
shit.
energy team. It's a higher energy team that can play really well against a high energy team like Team US. But when they face a structured defense and structured offense of team like Serbia or Germany or Spain or even Greece, I would not give them a percentage of chance of winning against those teams. So this is why I actually expect 2 comfortable wins from Team Serbia going forward in the group play. So the number 1 or the highest second seed is not out of the question. Having said that, I don't even care if they avoid Team US until the finals, because I already said this before. I only care about the gold medal. Like, I don't care if it's silver or if it's bronze. I really want the medal, but at the end of the day, I only count the golds. It's been 21 years since our last, I effed it up, 22 years since we won our last gold. So for me, honestly, it doesn't matter if they're meeting Team US again in the semifinals or in the finals. By the way, both of those teams need to get to the semifinals for that game to happen.
Okay, quick follow-up question then. Which team is more likely to upset Team Serbia and throw the whole train off the tracks between South Sudan and Puerto Rico?
Neither. I'm on
Yeah,
record.
come on.
Let's
Neither.
go.
They will blow both of those teams up.
I love it.
All right, man.
I'm
I
really
love it.
confident in what I'm saying right now.
Well, we know that you are.
Does anything have to change for that to be the case? Like, do you feel there are rotation changes that are needed, or it's just different opponent, same team, and it'll be a different result?
No reason for big changes at all. I would like to see Nikola Jokic play a bit more again, just for him to be ready for the elimination games, because we really need him. He was a really good player last year for Team Serbia. But other than that, I think Serbia can handily win both of these games, and I'm not at least worried about the outcome of the group play.
Okay.
All right, man.
All right. Well, hey, listen, I love the confidence, and frankly, Serbia looked really good for large portions of this game. I mean, if it's gold or bust, I think you may bust, if I'm being honest, because no one's beating that U.S. team. I'm sorry, no one's going to beat that U.S. team. That is a disgusting collection of talent. That, like I said, I've already mourning the loss of this tournament being like competitive. I hate that it's just like a foregone conclusion after one actual game that I've witnessed. They laid waste to Serbia, and Serbia is a great team.
But you did like what you saw from Serbia, like in let's say, obviously they lost,
dude,
but stretches.
I echoed the thoughts of the great Miroslav Chuk, where the structure and the basketball intelligence that they displayed and the team play and the playing the right way, that, I do think it's going to be very effective against a South Sudan. And I do think that their size alone is going to be impossible for Puerto Rico to overcome. But, I mean, come on, man. The U.S., like, Jesus Christ.
They are good. They are good. Miroslav, you mentioned that if you thought this was an elimination game, Jovic might not play. But he did.
Probably not.
And he played against the best team in the world, the best roster in the world. So was that maybe part of the point you were making earlier, that you're not expecting to win this one here? So it's almost actually, by playing him in this game, it's a play for the future. You're trying to get Jovic ready because he's important to this roster and better than he looked today.
Absolutely. They're going to face a really good team in the quarterfinals, and they're going to need Jovic for that game. Because, Petrušek has been playing pretty well at the 4, but he's a natural 5. So it's difficult. The only other 4 we have on the team is than Davidovac, and he was also injured, so he's even less in the game shape than Jovic. So we have a big problem there, and Pešić is really trying to play Jovic into the game shape. So yeah, I think that's why it was wise to play him today. And if something would go wrong against South Sudan or Puerto Rico, I would reduce his minutes just to make sure that we're winning those games, just in case.
Man, you may not have expected it, but Team USA plays really the best game we've seen them play.
Yeah.
Including, from the warm-ups till now. Serbia loses handedly, but Miroslav is feeling quite confident.
I love that. I love that. Like these are all the expected outcomes, even though early on, like I had a little hope. Didn't it seem early like the Serbia was going to absolutely hang with the US the entire time?
They stayed connected through some of the onslaught.
It was really the game ended when Kevin Durant entered the game, and just that was the end. He just started. He couldn't miss a single shot. I mean, it was insane, honestly. What he did. I've never seen Kevin Durant play that well, honestly, like in the NBA or international play. He just literally could not miss a shot.
Miroslav, were you able to catch any of Team Canada's game and Jamal Murray's minutes? Were you as locked in for that?
Yeah, well, if you watched my live show yesterday, you would know that
we watched
the first half, and then I had
checking it out.
I had a live show during the second half.
Miroslav does a show? Is that on our channel? Miroslav, my girlfriend was in town. She's real.
Oh, yeah.
My girlfriend wasn't in town. I still didn't watch it.
So your real girlfriend from Canada that doesn't.
She came all the way down, and we didn't watch the Team Canada game together. But we were busy. I was showing her the mountains.
Glad to know that she hates me.
Miroslav, I watched your show.
Yeah, of course, the real ones did. So when you finish this show, just go 24 hours before and watch a much better show.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yes, it was really good. Yes, it was really, really good.
Oh, was it?
But having said that, I did watch the first half of that Canada game, and Jamal did look like a half a step slower than he should be looking at this point. It's not comparing to what I expect from him. It's just comparing to everybody else on the court. You can see that that's Shea's team, and Shea's playing really well, and some other guys playing really well as well. Jamal is a real bench guy for that team at the moment because they're ramping up his minutes. So he was playing just the end of first quarter and beginning of the second quarter. He looked pretty good as a distributor. He was pretty good, but still, like he was getting rid of the ball really quick when the ball would find him, because it felt like he could not get past anybody to get to the paint and try to score.
Yeah. It does look and feel very. It's so laborious. It's so grueling sometimes to watch him just kind of shake himself free. And we've talked a lot about some of the things working against Jamal in this scenario. New roster, new role. He missed some time there. No Jokic. He missed some time there in the preliminary games. But is there any level of concern? We'll start with Eric, but we'll go for both of you. Any level of concern about Jamal here that extends beyond, okay, that was a bad playoffs, he's banged up? Are you worried about another slow start? And just to be frank, are you worried about Jamal Murray, Eric?
This is tough, right? How much weight do you put on a competition like this? How motivated is Jamal? I hate that we always have to caveat Jamal Murray's performance with how healthy he is, how in shape he is. Are the elements optimal? Is everything perfect for Jamal so that he can look like the guy that we know he can be when everything is working well? I hate that. Like, I just want Jamal Murray to be a functional, dominant basketball player anytime he's on the court. If he's not, like, I'd rather that he not even be playing. But does it? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, this has been a while. It's been a stretch now where we haven't seen Jamal look like, quote unquote, Jamal. Unless this is just Jamal. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to make of any of it. It's just like, I want to see a breakout performance from the guy because I love him and I want him to do well. Obviously, he's in an offense that is not in any way geared towards him, so that's going to be difficult for him to shine. All the same, like I want to see him make the most of his moments, and more than anything, I just want the chatter to be like, "Oh yeah, Jamal, like he's dope. Like you just move on."
I want to hear what Miroslav thinks as well. We'll talk more about that. We'll talk about Jamal going forward and the newest Nugget in town on the other side of the break. Stay tuned. For now, let me tell you about our friends at Volo Sports. Oh, I keep forgetting about the bumper.
I think we're going to get Volo'd today. I think that there's a big Volo incoming today.
I've seen a few Volo folks hanging out at the bar. They do that after their recreation. And after they're outside playing softball, kickball, volleyball. I'm sure there's a basketball league.
Yeah.
A lot of sports you can play, varying levels of competition. If you're in a city with Volo, if you're in Denver, Colorado, it's an elite way to get out, see more of the city, get outside, and even meet some friends. So make sure you check out the Volo Pass, the modern day sport and social club, for only $20 a month when you have the Volo Pass. It's the best way to meet new people, best way to stay active. You get free or discounted access to tournaments, fitness classes, and events. And you can travel with the Volo Pass. So if you're seeing your friends in another city, they also have Volo, you're good to go. You can sign up. You're eligible as a free agent. So yeah, get some friends together, start a team of your own, or go out by yourself, sign up as a free agent, get assigned to a team, meet some people. It's a great time. Sign up on the Volo app using code DNVR3 to get the Volo Pass for only $10 a month for the first 3 months. One more time. Sign up on the Volo app using code DNVR3 to get Volo Pass for only $10 a month for the first 3 months. And finally, if you know about rugby, then you know that the American Raptors are Colorado's only professional rugby team, and they play at Infinity Park, where we've got an underrated little rugby culture.
We had the Olympic Sevens on in the office the other day because that's one of the competitions that started before the rest of the Olympics. Pretty rugbyed over here, dude.
Pretty rugbyed. If you're trying to get rugby pilled, if you're already rugby pilled, I humbly suggest checking out the weekly DNVR Rugby Podcast hosted by Colton Strickler. Follow him at Colton Strickler on Twitter or at DNVR_rugby to keep updated with the latest news. Colton's great at 101 Rugby Podcasts, but he also gets you closer to the team if you already know your stuff. Talking exclusive interviews with the athletes and coaches, betting advice, swag and tickets giveaways. Experience the unparalleled excitement of the 2024 Rugby Town Sevens Tournament, the ultimate rugby event of the year with 62 thrilling matches spread over 3 action-packed days at Glendale, Colorado. It'll be the epicenter of rugby from August 23rd to 25th. Don't miss out this extraordinary event that promises top-tier competition and unforgettable moments. Tickets are on sale now. Visit Rugby Town USA for more information. Gather your friends or family and join us for a weekend of spectacular rugby action. They'll see you at Infinity Park. All right, we're back. Miroslav, I asked you a question before the break. I know you're getting older. I don't know if you still remember the question.
Yeah, do you remember the question?
That was a
Repeat
bit of a
the
break.
question back to us.
Verbatim. Do you remember? Miroslav, do you know what day it is? Are you ready to
The question
answer?
you asked was whether I am worried about Jamal starting slow this season again.
Okay, good job. Good job.
And I'm not. I'm not scared at all because I expect it. There's no need to worry. You don't teach the old dog new tricks.
Well, zigzag.
Here's the thing. So Jamal is my guy, and you're always toughest to the one you love.
That's why, yeah.
Your son was saying that's your approach. He was telling me.
So I had my doubts in Jamal until 2020, until the bubble. Like 2019 wasn't a great showing from him, even though it was a mixed bag. It wasn't good, it wasn't great, it wasn't bad. But since 2020, I really believe in Jamal as a top 15 guy in this league when he is on the top of his power. The problem is he is very rarely on the top of his powers. You could make a case in the last 4 seasons it's been like 15% of time on top of his power, and the other one was either not available or not in optimal game shape. Now, I am expecting a redemption playoff from him. I don't expect that much from him in the regular season. I'm hoping for as good of a regular season as it was last season because it was a really good one.
It was.
You know, if you discount the games missed, But other than that, it was a good regular season. I'm hoping for his redemption playoffs next season because I think it's his last chance. It's his last chance to prove that he is a worthy Robin to Nikola Jokic's Batman. Now, he might stick longer than that on the Nuggets, depending on how horrible that extension is going to look. But, we are hoping for that extension to look great.
So you're saying that his last chance is when he gets a max contract extension.
Yeah. I mean, it goes like that sometimes in the NBA. Shall we remember all the bad contracts that have been signed throughout NBA history? But we are hoping to talk about his extension as the greatest one ever. Like, do you remember when Bill Simmons called Michael Porter's contract the worst contract in the NBA?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a half.
And then they won a championship with him.
Okay.
So it's completely possible that we have these kind of fears right now, and then in 9 months we just laugh out loud and celebrate
ourselves.
Sure.
With Jamal as the second best player again.
I agree that outcome is sort of just as on the table as everything that we all fear. But it is straight. If I'm being honest with myself about how I just sort of view it now, it's strange to me how much is left for Jamal to prove. Because after that finals run, I thought, that's it, man. Like, what's left? What are we? Who cares about All-Star? Like, what are we going to ask of this guy? But all of a sudden, within the course of a year, it just seems to me like it's a fair question again to ask. What is it going to be going forward? We know what he's been. We know what he's capable of. But to Miroslav's point, it hasn't been necessarily consistent. There have been a lot of lower leg injuries. Are they going to add up? Are they going to linger? So, look, I'm not saying we hit the panic button yet, but I do think all of a sudden Jamal does need to have at least a great postseason again, or the pressure is going to be kind of intense, I think. Kind of intense.
Yeah. I mean, it is weird. We're in a very uncertain era right now, and he's not giving us any solace through these Team Canada performances because he's not featured.
Right.
But he played as well as he probably played better than Bogdanovich played today.
Maybe, I don't know. Bogdanovich turned it around by the end.
He did by the end.
But it was a bit of a garbage time.
Right, like we just want Jamal to come out and look absolutely dominant, and because we all need to be soothed and reminded. But I'm not at all worried about Jamal going into next season.
I just don't want to celebrate 2 clutch free throws from Jamal.
I thought that framing was. I love
last night.
Love my guys. Love my guys.
Let's do that. Not do that again.
I love my guys, but that was. I thought that was.
Can I ask? Let me ask this. Now that we, just to transition back to the Olympics, it's a little bit. Now that we've seen a couple of performances, a bunch of friendlies, how do we handicap the actual competition? How do we see this thing playing out? Like, what if you had to bet right now on, say, Bet365, who is left on the podium when all of the dust settles? Miroslav, let's get your take first.
You mean who wins the gold medal?
Gold. Who walks away with medals?
Who medals? Okay. I'm gonna. That's a tough one.
Yeah, it is.
Team US is gonna medal.
Yeah, I think they might medal.
Serbia is gonna medal.
Oh,
all right, let's go.
Okay. All right.
The third team. The third team is a team nobody is talking about right now.
Until now.
It's not France.
Including you. You're not saying it?
Germany? What about Germany?
Not Canada. It could be Germany. It could be Germany. It could be Greece, honestly.
Wow.
No way, dude.
Wow.
Greece stinks.
Wow.
But give us your fit. We need to compare this later. Give us your third team definitively.
Yeah, I will give you Germany because I just believe in their head coach, who is a great coach.
Yeah.
What say you, Brendan Vogt?
I'll say Germany. I mean, they know what they're doing, man.
But so are you saying U.S., Serbia, Germany?
I'm a little more worried about Serbia just because
they just got destroyed before.
Well, just because I think Miroslav's probably right that they win these games, but when you're in a group with USA, you're penciling a loss to start off, and that's not a great position. But we'll see. I think Germany is a team that is just going to be steady in this tournament. I'm hopeful about Serbia, though. I think they can hang. Like, I think any team that loses by 20 plus to the U.S. You just have to remind yourself who they played against, and that it's not necessarily a reflection of what they're capable of. All right, fellas, before we get out of here, really quick.
Wait, I have to give my
Oh, I'm sorry, Eric.
Unbelievable.
You know what, dude? I'll walk home. You got the rest.
You're going to walk home anyway, and then you'll tell everybody about it.
That's true,
Okay,
actually.
listen. Okay, so I've looked into the future. I took a decent amount of spice, and it allowed me supernatural powers of premonition. And I've seen the U.S. wins gold. Germany wins silver. And the host nation, France, gets the bronze. I hate to say it. It makes me sick. I don't feel good about it. It may have been all the spice that I took, but my stomach feels upset saying that you always get a bump when you're the host nation, even if you're full of unbelievably soft players that just happen to be tall.
All right, there you have it. Our Olympic projections. Feel free to contribute in the chat.
Canada can work its way in there too.
We have
They can.
3 minutes left for this Russell Westbrook segment and super chat. So here's what we're gonna do.
Just ignore the Russell Westbrook part and then just talk about
we're not doing it.
You realize we have to do a show every day this week.
I put it in the show description. We're getting to this, but here's how we're doing it. I'm gonna go to each of you, and here's
Just give a thumbs up or a thumbs
that's
down.
it. But you can go all the way up to 2 thumbs up or all the way up to 2 thumbs down. Okay.
Minus 3 to plus 3.
No, stop
maybe?
it. No math. Just thumbs.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no math. No math.
Miroslav, from 2 thumbs up all the way down to 2 thumbs down. It's official. Russell Westbrook will join the Denver Nuggets on a veterans minimum with a player option. Give me your thumb-related reaction.
It's a 1 thumb up.
Why would you not
If-
just...
I know.
If
You
you-
know. Why just don't
You
say
gotta do
one?
it both.
There it is.
You have to do... There we go. Thank you.
But you see how shy it is? Like, it's a shy
It's a
1
shy
thumbs
thumb.
up.
It's the thumbs up of a little owl.
If you talk to smart people about the basketball fit sucks.
Yeah.
But if you talk about the intangibles, if you talk about the things that the team might, get right with this signing, you are going to be much more optimistic about it. So I'm shy about it, but I think they couldn't have gotten a better player on a minimum deal outside of Tyus Jones, who just got signed.
I tend to agree with that. D-line, thumbs
All
up,
right,
thumbs
I'm
down.
going to give it 2 thumbs up.
Oh, flip it on him.
2 thumbs up. Again, learning so much about myself through this Russell Westbrook sighting. Can't believe how quickly I can abandon everything I've built my entire brand on. But listen, man, I don't have integrity. Did you know this? I am no integrity. I'm looking for, I'm just trying, like, for example, today I was cheering for LeBron James and Kevin Durant. Did you know that?
Yeah.
It was terrible. I didn't feel good about it, but listen, I just like to win no matter what. I actually really think, the more that I think about it, I really just cannot believe the level of talent we got for the contract that we got. And speaking from the vantage point of a team that was happy and over the moon about signing Reggie Jackson as a buyout candidate, to be able to add Russell Westbrook in a much more measured and intentional way in the offseason, and coming from a standpoint of not only is he a legitimate, actual, real-life friend of Peyton Watson, he's an actual, legitimate, real-life friend of DeAndre Jordan. I actually think that he is, and this has been the story with him forever, is that everyone in the locker room always likes Russell Westbrook because he just is surly and angry towards fans. Like, he's literally fought with fans in Denver. God, do I hate this guy so much. What am I doing? I think it's going to be great, though. He's going to be really good. He really is. It's going to, again, bring a style to the Denver Nuggets that we've not seen before. And you just don't want him shooting threes, but you want him driving to the rim. Cutting to the rack with Nikola Jokic finding him, it's going to be unbelievable.
I'll say 1 thumbs up because there are fit issues. It's a 35-year-old guard on a minimum for a reason, but it's also on a minimum. Now, I don't love the option. Maybe that was necessary. Maybe you could argue it won't matter with the cap going up, and maybe he opts out and gets a better contract next year anyway. I just think it doesn't feel like the best possible business when Tyus can just sign on a 1-year minimum. Having said that, seems like he's expected to start. So maybe that promise was a big
man.
part of that negotiation.
I'm getting flamed in the chat, by the way, for my for turning my back on Team Serbia.
for fake rooting for By the way, I was watching the game with Eric, very much rooting for Serbia. Very much.
Dude, I will say that Serbia has embraced me in a way that my country or father never have.
Yeah, definitely the second one for sure. Jury's still out on the first one. But no, I think it's just that you got a veteran guard on a minimum, man, and it's a guy who can dribble the ball, and it's a guy who has a little bit of intensity to him, and I think Denver needs that. Can he shoot threes?
No, don't let him.
Could he get to the rim and generate threes?
Yes.
I'm hopeful.
Drive and kick, my guy.
All right, let's get out of here with the last super chat. Diz says, guys, please tell Miroslav my really funny joke. Heat
US
USA versus
Serbia.
Jokic? What is this? My damn Serbian microwave? You get it, Miroslav? All right, that's it. Hey, thanks to calling in, Miroslav. Thanks for calling in. Thanks to everyone for waking up early and hanging out with
Miroslav,
us in the Toyota Lounge.
in your face, USA, 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 USA.
We all silly like the mayor.